What's up? Welcome back to German Chocolate Life of a Mixed Girl. I'm Jessica Vivian, aka German Chocolate. And today is a solo episode. And if you're watching, I'm super excited because if you know me, you know I like one thing when I go shopping. So I went shopping because I need another piece of wardrobe, right? And I saw this shirt that has tiny things on it, and I love shirts that, or yeah, sweaters have tiny things on it. And this one has tiny little dogs. And I'm more of a cat than a dog person, but it's like so cute. I'm gonna see if I can like come in as a it's it's so cute. So I was like, yeah, I'm wearing this to work and perfect day to do a podcast in this. And this episode is a special request from an IG friend. The request was to do an episode on work life balance. And I was like, yeah, that's a good one. Because when you're on social media, you think everybody's always got it all together. And I'm so happy a lot of people are sharing, when they're feeling a little blue and what they do about it. And I was like, that's the perfect one. So let's do it. um, One thing I noticed why this is a good timing in this whole time that I've done this podcast because I've had a very flexible work arrangement before. Didn't really matter what hours as long as you get your hours together. And this is the first time that I have a day job that's 9 to 5. So if I sound a little tired, it's because this is my before work recording of this podcast, which you will see why I'm doing that momentarily when we talk about time management. But it's so interesting why I thought about mentioning this because look at these little sheets that I'm going to be using. This is because I don't work in my home office anymore. All right, so number one on the list for a better work life balance is time management. So, what I do, I plan when I do my recordings, my admin duties, marketing things when I really need a break, especially when I know certain events are coming up. And sometimes when I'm in the zone, I just start marking things off my list and that feels great, having a little to-do list. You might already have that for your household or if you have kids for them, and it just works either a list or a post-it where you can go and then throw it away. But the problem is when that list grows, I get all because then it's too much on my plate. And anxiety really has been real for me the past few years, and especially the last months when I was first laid off from my day job and just trying to trek it here on the entrepreneur route and then starting a 9 to 5. And I don't think I've ever worked until 5. Like either work started really early, like 5:30 or maybe 8. So to get off from work at 5, pick up my son at school, and then my boyfriend and I, we alternate cooking. Sometimes prepping the cooking, just throw it in the slow cooker. You get home, then we eat together and then shower, and there's not much time and energy left for anything else sometimes. So, like I said, one of the things I do when I know my day is full, I have to get up early anyways to get my son ready for school. So the time I have between dropping him off at school and going to work, I use for like this. Record record an episode of the podcast, or I do my auditions, maybe not on camera because they do take a while, especially with the setup, but for voiceover, I mean, this is all set up, so I just go in and get started. So I do voiceover auditions, or if I have short lines I have to record for ongoing projects, I like to do that before work too. And then sometimes I'm like, woo, I gotta go. Just shut the computer down real quick and rush to work. But it's still cool because you got something done. Before, what I used to do before starting this job, I would log in a half an hour early before I had my remote job. Well, while I had my remote job, but before starting work there. Before my work hours started, I would do a lot of my admin work in the morning, which is really nice too. It doesn't matter if you're like a pen and paper kind of person. I like to work with Excel sheets, so I have them ready. But when I do my auditions or recordings, I always have my tab open, my Google Sheets, because then I can be like, all right, I did this audition, I finished this project, and I can track it. And yeah. So, however you can make life easier, time management is so important. And another thing for work-life battle, because I was reading the clue. You can tell it's the morning. Work-life balance, not work-life battle, is choosing your battles. This, if you're a parent again, you might have heard this before, but maybe also in a relationship, because this really, really helps in all aspects of life to choose your battles. Don't fight it all. You get tired, you get burned out, it's annoying, it annoys everyone else around you too. It helps you stay insane. So sometimes you're like, just let things slide. This happened at work, kid maybe not putting the dishes away. Boyfriend, I mean, I don't know, husband, girlfriend, whoever does something, choose the battles wisely. You'll be happier. Don't get into it all the time. Which then also goes into having a certain amount of self-awareness, right? Self-awareness and environmental awareness. Once you know yourself pretty well, which people that know me know I'm like a sucker for personality tests, and I'm like super aware, which if you're like super aware, it can be dangerous too, because then everything's always your own fault. You're like, oh, I should have known. But spot, when you're in a toxic environment, or it's too stressful, you need to make a change, or when you're getting off path, when you should take breaks or steer directions. Just be aware of yourself, what you want to do. And one thing that helps me when I start feeling all like stressed, well, I should say, I do so I don't feel that, but I feel it in a week where I don't get to do this thing regularly, and it's the gym. And I know you might be like, ugh, everybody always says that, but I remember a few years ago, I went to my doctor. I was like, I don't know, something's going on. I'm like moody and I'm not used to this. I think like the birth control and something. And I've learned when the cycle comes around, and the moods can go up and down, or emotional roller coaster. It's been way easier knowing when I do my 3 days a week at the gym, because I feel more regulated. And I notice even when I skip that one day, because I don't take them back to back, it's always like right now, the way I have to do it with my schedule, because I had to think about it. It just didn't work the way I used to do it. It used to be Tuesdays and Thursdays when I was working flexible, like during the workday. Then I would just put that hour at the end again. Instead of getting off at 2, I'd get off at 3. Now that I get off at 5, it's hard. I'm taking an acting class on Tuesday, so I already can't go there. And then we're splitting up the cooking arrangements, right, for dinner. So I'm like, what's the best day? On Thursdays, we have pizza day, so nobody has to cook. So you know what? All right, Monday is going to be my gym day, and Thursday is going to be my gym day. So, and that worked well. And then I have at least one weekend day that either I go or the two of us go together. But whenever, for some reason, something is going on that day and I can't go, I really notice it at the end of the week. My energy levels are not quite there. And then depending what you eat, right? Maybe then I'm also stuffing my face with ice cream, and then I don't know why I feel the way I do. And it really helps. And recently also went to get my labs done, because I've just unnaturally been feeling just way too down. And I was like, something's wrong, and I know it has to be my body. And turns out, yes, even though I live in Florida, my vitamin D levels are so far in the basement, they're not even reaching the low level. And that makes sense. It can cause problems sleeping, it can cause depression, it can cause all kinds of the things that I felt. So take your supplements if you need them. Go check what you need. And another thing is trial and error, you know, trying new routines and processes, see what really works. For example, yesterday, and this is why I'm bringing up these sheets right here. Um, Before I would like be on the computer or something. Now when I'm on my break, I like go into the car outside to be a little out of the office, and I take these sheets, and I'm like, okay, why am I stressed right now? I have everything. I'm super grateful for everything that I have, for my family, my relationship, my son, where I get to live, that I get to be an actor, a voice actor, I get to have this podcast, and you're actually interested in listening, right? Um, so why am I still not happy? I posted a Mother's Day post, and it got me thinking of, I'm just insane. Like, to think in the last years, all of the things I've done, most people don't even do in their lifetime. And I guess my life just moves so fast that whenever it's kind of stagnant, I I get into this rut. So actually, let me hold on to this for a second with a trial and error and skip to a point I've learned during the time I worked for the tech company. Um, because of the psychology methods and theories and things, but it was surfing the wave. And it sometimes mental health can seem, because it's not visual, um, like you just can't put in the same amount of work or it doesn't work. But I like to really compare it with physical fitness, like wanting to be fit or losing weight, in a sense, because whenever you get started, you're like, oh, and you start seeing results, and it's so cool. And then you reach like a plateau, and it's so normal. And if you didn't know that was normal, it is normal. It's stagnant, and then you're there, or you just feel bad, or you did something where you're like, oh, now I'm like back at one. Surf the wave. You just sometimes you gotta like hold out, and you just gotta wait for it to end, and it can be so uncomfortable. Just a few days ago, I woke up and I felt like I had a panic attack for no god darn reason. I went to work and I was like, just breathe. I don't know what's happening. I felt like, am I on the right path? What am I even doing? Does this even make sense? And I don't know why it happens, because I know everything happens for a reason and I am on the right path and I would never give up. But my brain just likes to play tricks on me. So I was writing it, and by the afternoon, I really did feel way better. Kind of think about, this is why, again, took the break to make a list, pros and cons, and try to find solutions of why I might not be happy right now. So that can help. So I try it out. Like I said, with the gym, I might have to switch my gym days, or what did I have here? Schedule my podcast. So yes, after I realized that, I reached out to all the people I had on my list that I said, yeah, cool, we're good for the podcast, but we didn't have a time and date yet. So that was stressing me too. That was in the back of my head. I was like, oh, I gotta get that done. So scheduling, making sure I do that. Hey, my son and I, we used to have like a night where we'd just like watch anime or Flash or something. I was like, we need to bring that back to get more cuddle time in. I need to find some time for myself, because what also happened, and now I don't work at home, which at first I was like, oh, I need to get out of the house. I need to be around people again. Now I'm at work 9 to 5, right? I get home, everybody's already home. On the weekend, everybody's home. So now I have zero time for myself anymore. It's just like either, the kid or the kids, and or all of us here. And I love everyone, but I need me time. So I need to somehow find a way to schedule it in and really make sure to keep my routines going. So that was really important. So making a list and keep it, because check back in with yourself. Another thing, like before I was writing down things that I thought were fun that I used to do, like last year. Like, oh, we used to go to St. Pete quite a bit, and oh, we started enjoying like playing darts at the bar or whatever, or going to the mall. And what is it that we do now? So really reflecting has been really important. So I know I have to surf the wave, and it can be hard. And I'm trying to think of physical aspects of this. Like, if you think about it, because this is a mental thing again, but if you were an actual surfer, you would get knocked out all the time. So you have to be patient. If you're going to the gym and you want to work out, you have to be patient until you can see results. So it takes a while to become a master of surfing the wave. And I am far from being a master. So I'm telling you on this, I've known this for years, this philosophy to do it. And it's really hard to master if you don't practice it. And so it can take a little bit. So if you're already meditating, you might be good at this, but I'm not really good at relaxing and meditating. So this shows you something. I'm constantly working on my work-life balance. There are weeks where I'm on top of the mountain, I feel amazing and everything's good, but I have to be prepared for the weeks where absolutely nothing is happening. No auditions are coming in. I don't have a podcast scheduled. We have like tons of stuff we need to do in our schedule. And yeah, or when it's just Netflix and chill, it like drives me crazy too. I definitely need to be mentally engaged a little bit. So if you know you can be under challenged easily, you should find something that helps you get challenged. And support is really important. Know who your support system is. Could be anyone. It helps, what I've learned, to have a diverse support system. Like if your partner is someone you talk to, that's great. But what I've learned, and that's really important, you can't dump everything on your partner. They're not your therapist. If you have a therapist, that's great. And then maybe you have a bestie, but maybe then your bestie also doesn't understand like your work thing. Like let's say being an actor, like sometimes like, well, that's so cool, you did the one thing. It's like, yeah, that was the one thing. But you don't understand. You get rejection all the time, or most of the time it's just you like, I want to say ghosted, but it's not even ghosted if you never heard from them in the first place. All the silence you put into work. You know you're planting seeds, but you can't see the seed grow necessarily because it's one of those plants that just take forever before they bear fruit or even like come out of the earth. And some stuff just never works because maybe you don't have a green thumb yet. And that goes with trial and error too. But what with the reflection piece of everything, checking in. And it's so funny because I've had this on my notes for a while that I wanted to say this, but yesterday on Instagram, Julia Scheffling, casting director of video games, definitely want to work with her one day. She seems so darn cool and nice and sweet. She posted something about, making a list of your achievements and checking it frequently. And I can attest to that. I was like, second that, because setting goals, first of all, is really important. That really, really helps because it's actionable, right? No matter how small. I learned that I was starting to get off the path again, because I didn't set quarterly goals again. I was like, oh, I'm cool. I'll just, manifest and I'll just work towards it. I work hard. But then I realized the things I achieved last year and the year before, I found had more actionable goals. So I had to come up with that. So here goes my yellow list again. And I was like, okay, so what were the things that I already did this year I can be proud of that just haven't come out yet? And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Some stuff might not come out, but that's cool. And like on camera and voiceover stuff. So it's like here, and then I have like the backside because I really like to scribble. Then I'm like acting, VO, other stuff, which others like podcast and my clothing company, Vibe Chick Apparel, which is a real LLC and not just merchandise. Woo, go buy it. Thank you. And then to-dos. Do you want to know what I want to achieve this year? I want to collect enough SAG vouchers so I can finally be SAG-E and then really work on those union projects too, but still be allowed to work my non-union projects, which helps. And it can be through background acting, or getting a national spot, right, on voiceover or on camera. And cool, both my agents sent the stuff, continue send it my way. So I signed up for central casting, but I know we're on a writer's strike right now, so again, patience. I signed up for it. I put up my profile, I filled everything out, and hey, it's cool to be there, be part of like a bigger project, even if you have no lines in there. Which, funny story, I was an extra before in Germany when I was a teenager, maybe 15, for, I think it was an educational video from the brand Always, and put it together. And I was at the Munich Film Studios, and just chilling. It was supposed to be like a teen party, and I was on the sofa doing my thing. And at the end of the shoot day, somebody came up to me, "Hey, we would like to have you come back to tomorrow to do a line." I was like, "Oh, I had like one line." And what I also didn't know, I thought I must have sucked because I had to say that line like a bunch of times when I came in. But in film and TV, you get all the angles and then all the things, so you do have to say it a bunch of times. But it was so cool. So who knows? That can also happen. Some actors started as background actors, and that's how they get into it. So that was definitely one thing. I want to go on another network event. So I went to the VO conference, but I really want to go to one where I can like chill and connect with people more, because conferences can be a little bit stressful. I need a new commercial demo, which is probably going to be the end of the year. And I need new headshots, which I did schedule already. So next month are going to be new headshots. So goals: become saggy, something I really want to do, which I don't have power over, but this is manifestation again. Voice an iconic character. Eventually I want to have a red carpet experience. This doesn't mean this year, but this is something that's always there, right? I've been talking about this, getting red carpet ready, Invisalign, my body, mental health, getting everything ready, and a few things I don't want to talk about. So what? Okay, now I have the goals, but now I have to break them down. So I have it by quarter. And so for this quarter, I really want to see that I can get at least like one or two more scenes together, so I can cut my on-camera reels, my headshots, scheduled those. Be on the lookout for the special event. I sign up for it as I'm interested, so hopefully this will happen so that I can sign up for it. And when background roles come out, I'd like to be part, do at least like two of those jobs. And then yeah, I really broke that down by when I want to get what done. And the cool thing about that is then you have it by quarter, then you break it down by the month and what week and how often you have to do something to get there. Like this many auditions, all right, how many do you have to do a week? If you get I get a lot, which this would be like pay to play, like the secure one. If you're not with a huge agency, you're probably not getting that many auditions if you are in that field. Yeah, so I gotta go shopping for my headshots. That's really important for the different looks, which this might have also been Julia. Oh my God, such an inspiration. Posted about a book that I found super interesting. So Pam from The Office, the show The Office, had a book, came out with a book, The Actor's Life or Survival Guide. And it had like what's important for headshots. She really showed her journey from her very first headshot right out of college and like the one that got her the role as Pam. And how to pick adjectives, describing the character so you can really get into it and feel it and show the emotions. So I'm so excited to try it out. Yeah, checking in, trial and error, choosing your battles, awareness, time management. How am I on time? Let me check. Oh, so good. Okay, I'm not going to be late for work. Yes, don't be late for work. It pays your bills. And here goes one more. Stepping out of my comfort zone constantly. Okay, I always thought I was an extrovert, so a lot of times I'd click on there, yeah, I love going out, I love being around people, I love doing all of this. And then, especially during the pandemic, I realized I'm an empath too, so I take on a lot of energy, so I can get really uncomfortable, like fast if it's too much and I don't get like time to recharge. So I'm more of an I wrote this wrong. I'm more of an extroverted introvert. So it's actually hard for me to show up on social media and post pictures and videos. Like, what are people going to think? Is it too much? Am I too focused on one thing? Who even cares, But then I started to think, it doesn't really matter. I know I have a very supportive group and a cool network of friends on there, but if anything, if I see my social media or my podcast as anything else, it could be a portfolio and journal of my journey and connecting with people along the way. So it's nice to look back, like I just did on a recent post, like, holy cannoli, 2019 was the first episode of German Chocolate. And I might not be super consistent because of my introvertedness. And I'm like, do they really want to know? Even though it's so sweet because my friends do reach out, hey, when are you going to bring out new podcasts? Like, I know we don't talk that much, like, because I traveled so much. Most of my friends don't live where I live. Yes, don't have a lot of friends where I live here. I'm really busy to make friends where I am. But I'm so grateful for all of the friends I have that I check in with on Zoom and on the phone and text messages on Instagram. And when they reach out, like, hey, what's been going on? I like to listen to the podcast because that's when I get updates on what's new, because we know you, it's always something new. And that's another thing with the mental roller coaster, right? If you're always doing a lot of things in a short amount of time, you just always kind of expect a lot to happen. And this is the first time I've lived in one place for like 3 Christmases. Doesn't mean 3 years yet, but 3 Christmases. The very first time, like, in my entire life. And not even as a kid. My mom always kind of moved a lot too, even like in the city we lived. And so if you're used to, in Germany we call this Tapetenwechsel, changing your, oh Lord, no, I can't think of the word in English as I'm talking. Wallpaper. To change the wall, you need a change of wallpaper, which I guess the saying in English is a change of scenery. So actually a nice translation of that. But you need that. So if you know you're not moving anywhere right now because it's comfortable, you like where you live, it's affordable to do what you're doing, maybe you need to travel. Maybe you need a new hobby, something. And this is, again, where those lists come in handy. Write it down and go for it. So I don't have the perfect answer for a wonderful work-life balance because I am a workaholic. I like to see achievements. So sometimes I go hard. I mean, before I was working a full-time job and getting my master's degree while doing the podcast and doing 3 to 5 TikToks a day. So yeah, if you're wondering, I have 14,000 followers on TikTok. I'm glad they're still there. But that was during the hype and prime of the pandemic, where if you just like went live and like posted your videos 3 to 5 a day, you were guaranteed to get thousands of followers, like 1,000 a week or something. It was so fast, I couldn't even believe it. And now I barely get 50 views because I'm not consistent, right? The algorithm. So when you see a video on there, it barely has any views. Those followers are real. It's just I've been inactive. I changed my focus because that was the time when I was like, oh, I really like doing this. This is really fun, this acting part. And how can I do that from here? And that's one of the many things that led me to voice acting. But then I used that time and energy to make a career. So then I didn't have time to do 3 to 5 TikToks a day. I really don't even know how I did that. To like, oh, choose the TikToks I want to do, then come up with the concept, which that actually always happened really fast. I was like, ooh, I could do it that way. And then like film it, which can sometimes take forever, especially with changing. Before they had that feature where you could like kind of pause and then keep doing the same character and then later do the other character and then just plug it in. You really had to like do one character, change, record it, change again back to the other one. So sometimes you'd see my hair. Like flyaways. Yeah, that was very interesting. I'm very grateful for that because that was so fun, and there were a lot of people on there that were so supportive and so sweet and always cheered me on. And now I have that with my Instagram family. So it's hard for me. So when you don't see a lot of posts, it's because sometimes I don't know what to share. Maybe there is enough, to go around, but I really don't surf the web enough to share like quotes or other videos and then post that. And then I also fall into the whole thing. If I share one person's thing, then another person might be like, she never shared mine. And this might not really happen in real life that the other person thinks it, but I don't really like to hurt people's feelings. So if you thought I should have shared something from you, like something you celebrated, I probably reached out to you. I do. I always like to reach out kind of like in silence with other people knowing, like when a mass email comes out and people are like, congratulations, boom, boom, boom. And then they like always reply to all. I'm like, okay, cool. We can all just reply to the one person. And that's how I like to do it. I like to just be low key, even though I seem so extra. So yeah, step out of your comfort zone, surf that wave when it's really hard, and have a support system. be ready to get yourself to a place where you might not feel so much of a roller coaster ride. Mentally, the way you balance your life with the activities you want to do, you should do, you have to do. Really get that together. So if you're a planner, that works. And if not, then, just write it down and just try one or two things and check in with yourself, write it down, record something, talk to someone about it. It really helps. Find some sort of accountability buddy, which I'm my worst critic, so I hold myself accountable. And then just kidding. No, but then I just change it, right? There is no punishment if I don't do it right. Like at work yesterday, we had a huge meal that was unexpected. And I was like, oh Lord, no! I had super much ice cream the day before, and then pancakes. And I can't go to the gym on Thursday. Well, I'm still gonna try because it's on camera day tomorrow. Which this might not air before that. But yeah. So always have to be flexible. Don't beat yourself up. And I have to really take that advice for myself. Don't beat yourself up. Ride the wave. It'll always work out. And when I look back like a week ago, a month ago, the beginning of the year, last year, 5 years ago, oh my God. If I look back 5 years ago, yeah, there was no podcast. 5 years ago, I think I wasn't even here yet. I think I was still in Germany. So a lot changed. A lot. I already have a reminder marked in my phone. I'm going to do a post of all the the stuff I did in 5 years, because I'm proud of it. I first don't want to do it because I don't want to brag, right? I don't want to seem like, oh, look at her, all the stuff she does. But some people might find inspiration in it, and I like to celebrate it, and I like to have it there. So if you also want to celebrate it, cool. And if you're hating, then I don't know why you're listening, but just kidding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Time management, choosing battles, awareness, find some sort of physical activity, mental activity and balance, right? Trial and error with your processes and your time management and everything. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It'll feel good. I don't know if it was a show we watched or something, or if it's something on social media. Someone's like, it's called the comfort zone for a reason. Why would I want to leave it? So if you know where it's from, go let me know on Instagram, or I think there's a button here somewhere on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, where you can drop a comment, or on YouTube. But so it is scary to step out of the comfort zone, but it can be so rewarding. And I will leave you with that. And I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time of day it is right now. And see you next time.